الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. When the Iranian revolution started, I was still in Europe. Then I came to America. I witnessed in America uh, the propaganda that the new regime under Khomeini brought through the organization they had. That was incredible. The organization, the Shia, the Khomeini people, very organized, and now they had a country that is supporting them with a lot of resources. So the slogans that they started with, naturally against America, because through the Shah, America ruled Iran. And the Shah was a very arrogant tyrant, and he crushed his people. He killed so many of them, jailed anyone with a hint of opposition to his tyranny. They were doomed. And Khomeini himself had to take refuge in Iraq, something that he never appreciated. And he lived in Iraq. And the revolution was very organized, really. Here in America was very organized, and many Arab youth were impressed by them and thought that these people would be our natural allies. So the slogan against America was absolutely natural, because they saw America as being the enemy that crushed them, crushed their aspirations. I mean, the economy was in total disaster, and the Shah was living like a pharaoh. And I think he thought of himself as being one of those Kisra, the old Persian emperors, and he was like a dumb man all the way until the end, didn't realize what was going on, and thought, let me oppress more and more and more and more, until he was forced to run away from the country, really. Now his son is dreaming of ruling Iran again, but like I said, dreaming. I don't think the people there would welcome him, because he has no base of support, and people remember his family, what they did to them, even if they are angry today with the Mullahs. So Iran started with the slogans, because they need to spread, export the revolution. Now, many people wanted to forget the very long history between Muslims, the Sunnis, and the Shia with regards to all aspects of the religion, a very long one. And the Shia were not ready to give up anything. They didn't. I had more interest in reading about the Shia after the revolution. I read many, many books, and Khomeini's books in Arabic also, I read them, that were translated to Arabic. And I found that they did not leave anything from the old ideology, but the slogans, America, death, death to America. Many Muslims then and now look at America and the West and see the oppressor of them. They support the tyrants who rule them, and so they identify with that. Death to Israel. That was important to the youth, because then, as it is today, Arab youth can't figure out why those Arab countries are not intervening and helping, freeing Palestine from the Jews and given it back to the Muslims. And here comes a very big country as compared to any Arab country. I mean, very big, so much talent, and they have resources, and they're saying Israel. So many Muslim youth became impressed by that and thought this is our natural ally against the West and against Israel. The Shia, in their books, the current ones, Khomeini, for example, wrote many books, did not leave anything of their creed. Period. Nothing. But they didn't come to Muslims and say from the beginning, help us. We believe the Quran was changed and corrupted by the companions of Muhammad, who became kuffar, all of them except 10, 15, 17, 13 and a half after he died, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And therefore we don't take the sunnah either from them. And the wives of the Prophet were the most wicked women of all time. And Muhammad failed in his message, as Khomeini wrote in his books. That's what he believed. Muhammad failed in his mission. All the prophets failed in their missions, waiting for the Mahdi to come and correct things. And we would like you to come and help us and support us, because even the commoners in that time would say, what are you talking about? I don't agree with any of this. But going through the slogans, that was very smart. I admit it was very smart, because their religion has been rejected by the majority of Muslims throughout the history of Islam. They came later, called everybody a kafir who came before them, including those who brought the Quran and Sunnah to the world, fought Muslims many, many times, established many states, Shia states. Muslims, they don't read their history anyway, so they established many of them, and they didn't want to push their religion on the people very fast, very quickly. So the slogans. To go through the commoners, I mentioned an example. They don't go to the commoner and tell him their creed. No. To the commoners, they said, your rulers are not ruling by Islam, and they're not fighting the Jews to free Palestine, Al-Quds, Al-Quds, Al-Quds. So the slogans to cover for their unwillingness to give anything up from their religion. So the books, I read the books, Khomeini's books and everything, they have the same ideology. They didn't change. It's just they used the opportunity and the propaganda to spread their ideas about America, the West, the rulers, Palestine, so that they gain access to the hearts and minds of millions of Muslims. And they did, young people especially. And they did. So that was the plan. They did not come and push their Shia Ja'fari religion on the people. But they did not give up any part of that Shia religion. Oh, propaganda, day and night, until today. The Iranians never had any interest in fighting the Jews. You don't like what I'm saying? Give me one. You see? One example of Iran directly attacking the Jews, fighting the Jews, trying to free Palestine from the Jews and give it to the Palestinians, who are Sunnis. Even though Shamsi calls them mushrikeen, they are Sunnis, they're Muslims. And they call the Sunnis kuffar and mushrikeen anyway in their books. Even Khomeini, like he didn't say to his people, suppress these books I wrote where I call the Sunnis Nawasib and enemies of Islam, and I call the companions dogs and pigs, and I call Abu Bakr and Umar the ones who changed the Quran. No, no, they didn't suppress anything because this is propaganda tool number three. The Arabs don't want to read. They don't read, especially if it's about their religion, and therefore we can keep talking about Palestine and make them forget about our goal, Mecca and Medina. Always wanted Mecca and Medina. Always. Always. Now, if they take Mecca and Medina, look at the golden opportunity for the Shia Ja'faris to spread their religion through Hajj and Umrah, and those who visit Medina to the rest of the Muslim world. This access was like the dream of the Shia for centuries, and now they thought they had the strength and power. So if they come and tell the Sunnis, here is our creed, we want Mecca and Medina to spread our religion, even the commoners might say, no, I have nothing to do with this. Palestine? Palestine. America? America. So the slogan went that way. And for tens of years, the mullahs worked very hard on the Iranian economy, on suppressing the people. The economy is literally dead, and it's been going on like this and worse every year. Today, the dollar is 1.5 million riyal, with Khomeini's picture on the riyal. So if somebody wants to buy a piece of bread, bring bags, hopefully garbage bags, and fill a million there, throw a million to buy maybe 5 pieces of bread. The economy is in really bad shape. Also, they don't have enough water even to flush the toilets, let alone drink and use for food. And because of their slogans that they wouldn't give up, because their goal is to spread their religion regardless of what happens to their people, the West kept squeezing the economy of Iran continuously for 45 years now. 45 years, 46 years. That's a lot of years against a so-called developing country. And who suffered? You think the mullahs? No. The mullahs live in Iran and lived in Iran like kings. The big mullahs have so much money, have militias even of their own, and they have this system of government that is very easy to crush opposition. Still, they might crush this latest round of demonstrations that the people are doing now, and I don't like Iran to fall under the West, but Allah knows what's going to happen there. They destroyed the economy. They put the money in their pockets. It is said that Khamenei himself, the companies that he controls, have between 70 to 100 billion US dollars. How many riyals would that be? Don't ask me. And the people are in really bad shape economically. And then you have the boycott by the West of Iran, and therefore things went from bad to worse to much worse to very, very much worse, like today. It's incredible how the people living there, I have no idea. They suppressed the Sunnis in Iran very badly because they consider the Sunnis as their enemies, as kuffar. And through those slogans started spreading their ideas and people who listen to them throughout the Muslim world because they wanted to overthrow the governments of Muslims run by Muslims, most of whom don't rule by what Allah has revealed anyway. And they're doing the same thing to their countries, what the mullahs are doing. So, and through the slogans that they are against the devil, America, and the devil, the Jews. The slogans to keep the appeal alive and well among the multitudes of young Muslims who are naive and ignorant in their religion. Ignorant. But the slogan kept going on and on and on. Economic conditions worse, 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 worse. The West is squeezing their economy so badly, really, out of money or opportunities. And they wouldn't give up the slogans, even though they never fought Israel. So I go back to what I said earlier. You don't like what I'm saying? One war that the Jews, one war that the mullahs of Iran started against the Jews. Don't tell me Hezbollah and Houthis and other stuff. These people are just little fronts. Iran is the big front. It's the one that kept saying how many the armies they have and the soldiers of Hussein and the Quds armies, whatever they call them. But they haven't done anything in terms of attacking the Jews because they know that the Jews were able and still able to destroy the infrastructure of Iran, and they did it finally last year. They've been hitting the Iranians in Syria for a long time. One war that they started, you can't bring any, no examples. This is where Israel is also interested in not bringing down the mullahs. In reality, maybe they got bored with them, they want some other creep like the Shah. But look how much support and help the mullahs of Iran gave to the Jews. They suppressed the Muslims in Iran very badly. The mullahs of Iran stood by when America occupied Afghanistan. The greatest devil, right next door, didn't do anything against the occupation. And then Saddam Hussein did what he did and opened the door for the West to come and destroy Iraq. And after that, they occupied Iraq based on false accusations of Qaeda and other stuff and weapons of mass destruction. Everybody now knows it was a lie. And Saddam Hussein was a horrible, horrible tyrant. Could be bigger than the Shah even. But anyway, so America went into Iraq. They're still there today, very, very small numbers, but they occupied Iraq. And so you have Afghanistan and Iraq surrounding you, Iran. And the greatest devil is around you, but they didn't do anything. Muslims, did they do anything? They were very happy that those countries, the Sunnis, were devastated by the West. Devastated. And they went in to fight Islam and Muslims. Caused the death of hundreds of thousands of Muslims. Millions had to flee from these two countries. Iraq, the same thing. Iraq was especially important to the mullahs of Iran because more than half are Shia. I remember our Sunni Muslim brothers from Iraq kept telling me, no, we are the majority of the Shia. It looks like no. The Shia were always the majority for a long time. And Iran was very happy that America went in there. And the strategy was clear. wait it out. America will reduce the presence until in the end they have just a few hundred, a few thousand soldiers in Iraq, and Iraq will be ours. They went in. You remember all the war that happened from the Shia against the Sunnis in Iraq? Many of those battles were instigated by Al Qaeda. You remember Al-Zarqawi, that damn criminal, Al-Zarqawi, and how the killing in Iraq was so vicious, and the Sunnis realized that they have no future in Iraq under the Mullahs, who were given Iraq as a gift, free of charge, furnished. And they devastated the economy in Iraq. They just, wherever they go, the money disappears and the economy falls. Really, I mean, I mean, unbelievable how they bring down two countries with a lot of resources and talented people. Iraq suffered hundreds of thousands of deaths, and between Iraq and Afghanistan, maybe 1 million Muslims were killed, and the criminal Dick Cheney died. Inshallah, Allah willing, he is now being reminded about everyone that this damn criminal caused to die. And Bush, he's acting like he's a statesman now. He's a wise man. You brought all this death and destruction on the Muslims, mainly civilians. Then Iraq was given to Iran for free. Then the miserable Arab Spring came and started in Syria. They failed everywhere. They started in Syria, and Bashar al-Assad, the Kafir Alawi, from the Alawi sect that is a Shia, that the Ja'faris of Iran, they used to call them disbelievers, kuffar, but when it comes to supporting them against the Muslims, they came in and they started doing what the Jews did to Palestine, to the Palestinians. They kept coming and coming, kicking people out, shooting them, killing them, stealing their farms and homes. And they thought that from the borders of Afghanistan all the way to the Mediterranean, Hezbollah there suppressed the Palestinians there, suppressed the Muslims and killed them. And they couldn't fight Israel after Hezbollah took over Lebanon. Maybe you don't remember, I do. Some of the Palestinian groups, some of them were communist. Now, I have nothing to share with them except that they are kuffar. But the ones who were not communist, they tried to defend themselves. And then when Hezbollah came, everything ended. So from the borders of Afghanistan all the way to the Mediterranean, bringing back the Kisra. All this time, how many wars did Iran start against the Jews? None. Zero. You can't bring any. How many wars against the Muslims? Count. From Iraq to Syria to Yemen. And how they tried to destroy Islam in there, bring their miserable creed, Kafir creed, and Khomeini and all that stuff. The Houthis are doing the same in Yemen. So Iran itself did not fight other than the Muslims. Skirmishes between Hezbollah and a missile here, a missile there. It is like mafia bosses fighting over turf. That's it. But they didn't fight the Jews. Did they fight the Jews? They didn't fight the Jews. They didn't start anything. The Jews attacked them throughout, and especially last year, they destroyed the infrastructure of Iran, the military, killed so many of their scientists, and but Iran didn't. So for Israel, do they really want the mullahs to go away? I mean, these people came and suppressed Islam, caused so much trouble, still looking for revolutions in Muslim countries to force those crazy Sunnis who support the Shia to become Shia. The Jews really want this to go because their war was against Islam and Muslims, Iran. You can, I mean, what do you want me to say? Look in your history and find out about all this. One person, I have Shia who respond usually when I speak about Iran. You are dividing the Muslims. Do you have a hearing? Do you hear? Do you read? You understand the speech? They killed the Muslims by hundreds of thousands. I am dividing the Muslims. And the Shia are not Muslims, the Jafaris and similar groups. The Zaydis, we don't call them kuffar. The Houthis left the Zaydi Shia sect, became Jafaris, and it's a mess everywhere. Death and destruction for Muslims. And now the Iranians are trying to get rid of this cancer that has really destroyed them. Iran is a very big country. They have a lot of talented people. Many among the Shia who are commoners, they don't share the creed of their mullahs. They don't have, or maybe they don't have understanding of the full extent. And so many of them, they have a feeling for Palestine and the Palestinians and Al-Quds, and they want it back. But it's just the situation in Iran is so bad. And I would like you to challenge me, tell me, which war did Iran start against the Jews? 46, 47 years. I mean, when do you want them to start this war that we've been waiting for, all these armies of Ya Hussein, Ya Ali, Ya Fatima, Ya whatever, to go and then maybe have something like during the Iran-Iraq war. They were saying that the mullahs would be giving them, here is a certificate or something, promise to go to paradise. They did that against the Muslims. They didn't do any of that against the Jews. Skirmishes here and there. Don't you remember? I hope you do. That the European nations, same continent, same religion, and they kept fighting with each other for centuries and centuries. But Iran never started a war, big or small, against the Jews. So do you think the Jews really want them out? Maybe not. Maybe yes. And what happened in Gaza and the death of 70,000 to 100,000 Muslims there, civilians. The Iranians, what did they do? They keep talking about the Arab countries. Yeah, the Arab countries didn't do much. Since I was young, I realized that the Arabs don't want to fight the Jews because they know fighting the Jews is fighting America, and they don't want to fight America or anybody else. We know that. See? But what did Iran do to help the Gaza people? Yeah, when the Jews hit them, they hit back. Missiles, 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 missiles. And some Arabs say, look, they hit Tel Aviv, they had this, they had that. Okay. But they've been slaughtering the Palestinians for many months. How come you didn't send all these missiles to relieve the Muslims in Palestine from the attack on the Jews? Do you know that Hezbollah sent more than 30,000 Shia fighters to Syria to kill the Muslims there, men, women, and children? They didn't send even 3 soldiers to fight the Jews. Propaganda, keep it in your pocket. I've been saying this for some time. Propaganda, yeah, they are doing this and that and this and that. Well, leave it here. Did they fight the Jews? Did they come to relieve the people in Gaza? Hamas, you made a strategic mistake. Religion-wise, And military wise, you put your hands in the hands of the enemies of Islam. They have been enemies of Islam. They didn't do you any good. What concerns me is the people of Gaza because we stand with Muslims. But Hamas, put your hands in the hands of the mullahs. What did they do for Palestine? Not a single war. They killed hundreds of thousands of Muslims. They were killing Muslims in Syria while some leaders of Hamas were still living in Syria. For what? For some miserable weapons they give you? And that promise of we're gonna do this and that free, and we're gonna make Israel burn from north to south, east to west, and we're gonna bring back. Well, that never came. And then that leader left Bashar after he realized that it seems Bashar is getting weaker and weaker in Syria. The Shia killed hundreds of thousands of Muslims in Syria too. Look what the Houthis are doing in Yemen. They're going after Islam. They're changing the curriculum because unlike those naive Sunnis, they are dedicated to their religion. Change the curriculum today. In 10 years, you have a whole generation of new Shia. As for those who support Iran, the Islamists like Ikhwan Muslimun, including Hamas and others, you supported the enemies of Islam. What did they do for Palestine? In any way, I'm a Palestinian too. You don't speak for me. Hamas doesn't speak for me, period. I don't want to replace the Jews with the Shia. They're both kuffar. And Khomeini and major scholars of the Shia admitted that their religion started with Abdullah ibn Saba, the Jew. That's why you see similarities between the religion of the Mullahs and the Judaism and the rabbis, their clothes and the way they do things, and sadness and grief and crying every year for Hussein and for whatever, they have tens of people they cry for every year. So Israel, don't you think that they know that the Shia religion is actually against the Muslims and not against the Jews? Yes, Israel taught the mullahs a very big lesson, but do they really want the mullahs to be overthrown and to have people who have feelings really for Palestine and maybe rebuild Iran and Iraq and Syria? I mean, Muslims, including many commoner Shia who do not oppose the Sunnis in their religion, do they really want that? I doubt it, because they know the origin of the Shia religion is a Jew. So, why would they want the mullahs to go away? Why? They didn't fight the Jews. They didn't fight the Jews. They didn't fight the Jews. They did not fight the Jews. The Jews have been hitting them 10 times or more than they retaliate, the Shia. So, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. So I just wanted you to know that I think the Jews are thinking that, let's suppose that the mullahs fall and we have real Muslims, meaning commoner Muslims who are willing to learn their religion and practice it the right way. We don't want them to come and rule. That would be for them a bigger disaster. Or maybe they got bored with them, or maybe they thought that since they destroyed the leadership of Hezbollah and destroyed also much of the leadership of Iran, that we should look for another stooge who would fight the Muslims, suppress them. In reality, the Shia suppressed Islam and Muslims. They did not fight the Jews or let anybody else fight the Jews because they were busy killing Muslims in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and hoping hoping for the day they reach Mecca. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save the Muslims from all enemies.